Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Bloodborne OST reaction. Now, because I'm sort of now really almost exclusively taking a look at Bloodborne, it's just because it deserves as much of its recognition and its praise as I've no doubt given it already. But now, one thing I'm just actually sort of trying to do is to sort of like go through the a lot of the worst sort of boss fights because yes, some of the fights may suck. Sometimes the boss doesn't really have any real place in terms of like the overall story of the game. Some of them are actually quite redeemable because the soundtrack is usually what makes so many of these boss fights come to life. And no more will your patience be tested in terms of absolute simplicity than the goddamn Witches of Hemwick, who, in the words of the famous reviewer, were placed into the game due to disability access. Because, yes, I will. A lot of the fight for this against the witches seems to be, well, artificial to say the least. It's not particularly very difficult. They try to make it difficult, but just trying to make it difficult without actually making it challenging or utilizing a piece of tech that the player is unfamiliar with. That doesn't. They don't do anything to like make the fight like really difficult. Instead, it's just kind of awkward and kind of poorly designed because it's awkward and kind of poorly designed. I wish there was any other way to put it, but there isn't. Thankfully, however, the OST isn't particularly awkward or poorly designed. I hope so, based on what I can remember. So let's get to it. Yes, possibly the worst boss fight in Bloodborne. It's somewhere between this and the Celestial Emissary because I don't really know what else qualifies as bad. To be honest, Vicar Amelia is not that bad. It's more interesting, I'd say, than a good fight. But let's get to it. Eh? You see, like again, just on the opening, it gives you the impression of what they were going for because the witches are literally like haggard old women who have like cloaks made out of eyes, and there is something meant to be inherently very unsettling and very foreboding, as though some dreadful terror is coming, or rather it is a very dreadful terror, yes, but it's more terrifying in the sense that you have no idea what this thing is supposed to be and why are there two of them, and how did they turn invisible, and how are they able to summon those dark tentacle-looking things. I'm not talking about the Winter Lanterns, by the way. Those things could go to hell. I will say it is kind of funny, actually. They try to like build up the tension and suspension bit of somewhere at what is supposed to be the second phase of it, but again, to say this boss has a second phase is not particularly fair, because it's just a different witch. And that's it's unfortunate, but basically almost like the boss fight, it's almost all filler, no killer. There's no like climax. There's no moment that's gonna make you run scared. There's no real reason to be scared of this fight. It's yeah. And then it just sort of like stops like just right there. I will say yeah. Okay, so I suppose the more I think about it, it's not really it's not really it's again, okay, yes, the fight sucks. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, and the music is I really do like it. It's meant to lead the player into a feeling of suspension and disbelief, and the terror that arises because you don't know if are you supposed to be killing this thing, and the fact that again it's invisible going into it, it makes it a bit harder to find out. Just wonder, well, are you really doing the right thing by trying to kill basically a defenseless old lady? But there is something like if the fight was harder, that might have saved it. If let's say the witch healed itself, like every time you attacked it, or I know what you mean. It's like it's not difficult for the same reason that fighting Pinwheel is not difficult, because its health bar is too low, its attacks are very easy to dodge, the battlefield is the place you're fighting it is too small, because so Pinwheel and the witch have basically got nowhere to hide, and yeah, it's basically just a means of progression, and well, they say, well, here you are. I honestly probably it might have been better if this thing was just straight up not in the game, but well, the soundtrack was pretty cool at the end of the day. But though, owing to more the design of the game and what you're meant to be doing here, that possibly counts for a lot. I don't really know how else I'm meant to end this video other than saying something like that, so let's just pretend I said nothing. In fact, let's just straight up forget this fight. Good? Good. And I hope to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now. I know that I'm sorry, this video wasn't particularly very interactive. I do apologize. I'll try better again next time.